So what does the hybrid workforce offer? Well, from our recent survey into resilience and innovation within this hybrid world we find ourselves in, we've learned that most business leaders find the hybrid workplace to have an overall positive impact. So when the pandemic struck, companies raced to support remote and flexible working. And as an offshoot of this, there was widespread speculation around, well, how is this going to influence productivity? And the research suggests that concerns were largely unfounded, with 82% of leaders, in fact, indicating that their companies were at least as equally productive as they were before. So whilst every organisation is different, a common reason for effective productivity that's been is the increased speed of project delivery as people responded and adapted quickly, removing boundaries, accelerating decision making, and productivity also has typically increased for knowledge workers who can now focus better around what they're doing on a day-to-day basis with less interruption to have to deal with. And in terms of that work-life balance and talent, 56% expect remote working to increase employee retention. So leaders say that their biggest opportunity in having established remote working policies is to actually ensure that they retain their most capable employees. This is especially true now that geographic boundaries are increasingly removed, and with much less or even no commuting for employees, that work-life balance for many is better than ever. And then financially, 56% of leaders expect remote working to deliver cost savings, as they'll be able to take steps such as reducing office footprint and their spend on business travel. And then taking a broader societal view, 54% of leaders see increased sustainability as a key business reason to adopt remote working, viewing it as an opportunity to play a part in reducing that rush hour congestion and non-essential business travel. And then the bigger picture is that leaders see that compelling business value in maintaining a more hybrid approach to working. So, of course, there's many challenges. Both leaders and employees have concerns about this new world of work. There's a challenge of meeting customer expectations at a time when so much is in flux. There's the need to sustain productivity when new processes need to be created and learnt. There's engaging employees. That's also a concern. I mean, how are people meant to build deep relationships and truly collaborate when they're working remotely? How are they meant to work creatively? And then there's the issue of developing talent, networking, mentorship, and then more widely the question of whether a culture will erode without that physical presence. Is the equal inclusion of employees possible when working remotely? With all of this change, well-being very well might be at stake, with increased screen time and burnout having that negative impact on well-being and work-life balance. Overall, employees are most concerned about losing that company culture, having less team cohesion and an increase in silos throughout the business. So it's fair to say that there's a lot of issues that leaders need to be able to juggle and carefully consider. And we're at that tipping point where organisations need to address these challenges to make remote working and office working into that successful new hybrid workplace. So what is it that you should consider? Well, in a nutshell, it's your people. People need to come first. The new normal of that distributed hybrid workforce is here to stay. And whilst a lot of organisations have rightly focused on that initial response and recovery, embracing this new normal and reimagining the new world of work is the only way to keep your workforce ahead of that curve. So remember that the new workplace is more than just a greater remote working. It's much more holistic and a holistic approach to your entire working culture. It's important to note that productivity thrives in an innovative and adaptable environment, and being rigid just isn't going to cut it. So with changing times has to come changing attitudes. And many leaders looking to maintain the commercial vigor of their organisations are increasingly seeking to harness that power of data and workplace analytics and improve cross-organisational communication. Those that seek these new ways of operating are more likely to maintain and boost productivity. Business automation and agility will absolutely help to give time back to employees and meet customer needs. And technology is going to help to minimise repetitive tasks, leaving employees free to focus on what really matters. So Your people need the tools, the skills, and the mindset to be able to thrive. And new digital skills are in demand. And it's important that you help your people access those skills that they need to keep your organisation competitive. And while so much of business discussion is about profits, resilience, and competitive muscle, it's crucial not to forget the people behind the work. Today's employees want well-being, they want inclusiveness, they want community, they want to feel part of a human team where they're included. So it's really up to organisations to support their people and maintain a connected experience with every single individual throughout the business.